Hello, I'm David D. Hilscher. I am a critical thinker, dissident scientist, and I'm here to tell you the truth about science. Something you university professors won't tell you, the mass media won't tell you, and certainly those science evangelists won't tell you. Well, Christmas has come early. One of the great scientists of all time, in my opinion, yes, of all time, and of our generation for sure, Dr. Glenn Borchardt, the Infinity Guru. I'm going to try to get him to get his channel started. It would just be awesome. He is one of the premier, if not the premier, science philosopher of our generation. Yes, I believe he's even better than Kuhn, folks, way beyond in my opinion. But he has come up with a book that is just amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on it, and you can't read it until December 25th. In fact, if you go to it, and I'll have a link to this, it says not available. It says right here, this title will be auto-delivered to your Kindle on December 25th, 2017. Pre-order. Hey, pre-order it. I am sure it is a great work. I am one of those people who believes the universe is infinite. It's always been here, always will be, infinitely large, infinitely small, all the way up and all the way down. And if you are one of those people, or if you're not, you may want to read about this because it certainly gives an alternative to this ding dong idea of the Big Bang. I'm sorry, I'm just the Big Bang has so many philosophical problems, and of course you're going to hear a lot of that, I'm sure, in this book. But what I'd like to do is to just read through this because it's really, I'm sure, worth it, and it'll be whet your appetite. Again, I would do two things. Well, I'll tell you about them, but the two things were, so I don't forget, are make sure you pre-order this book, and second, bug Dr. Glenn Borchardt. He is a geologist by trade, but he is an incredible philosopher. And say, hey, Glenn, why don't you have a channel like Dave and Robert and Nick? We would like to hear from you. I mean, he can give us little nuggets all the time. He has a great blog. All he has to do is turn his camera on, record a few, throw them up there. So bug him, have him speak to us. He's an elegant person, elegant speaker, just amazing, amazing guy. So I'm going to go through this and read this. Well worth it. And here we go. It's called The Infinite Universe Theory. We're reading it here. Infinite universe theory presents the ultimate alternative to the Big Bang theory and the common assumption that the universe had an origin. Yeah, that's, I can't buy that, and that's why I'm so in tune with infinity. Author Glenn Borchardt starts with photos of the elderly galaxies at the observational edge of the universe. These contradict the current belief that universes should have increasingly younger objects as we view greater distances. That is so for sure. He restates the fundamental assumptions that must underlie the new paradigm. Notably, by assuming infinity, he is able to adapt classical mechanics to neo-mechanics and its insistence that phenomena are the result of matter in motion. Our model is entirely built on this, folks. Our model is entirely built on it. So neo-mechanics was in the 2008, 2009, I can't remember exactly when, but 2010, doesn't matter. I read about neo-mechanics and my mind exploded. It was one of the great moments, one of the great things I've ever read about. Again, if you're an infinity person, neo-mechanics and insistence that phenomena all measure. He shows in detail how misinterpretations of relativity have aided current flights of fancy more in tune with religion than science. I tell you, this is a critical thinker's book, folks. You gotta $10. It's worth amazingly more than that. He demonstrates why only infinite universe theory can provide answers to questions untouched by currently regressive physics and cosmology. His new modification of gravity theory gets us closer to a physical cause without causing attraction or curved space-time or in material fields. Thank you. This is the opposite of shooting myself in the head. Immaterial fields, that's what I've been harping on forever. Fields, people talk about fields. Oh, yeah, it's the electric field. Everything in the universe is electric and in the electric field. No problem, that's a nice idea. But what are the electric fields? This is the book for you if you have doubts about the universe, exploding out of nothing and expanding in all directions at once. that the universe has more than 3 dimensions, or light is a massless wave particle that defies the second law of thermodynamics. Yeah, pretty much yes and yes and yes and yes. Okay. Um, Borchardt has put forth a solid case for an infinite universe that extends in all directions and exists everywhere for all time. Preaching to the choir, of course, but oh, what a Christmas present this is. Everybody's going to be saying, Merry Christmas to me. I will be home, actually, and reading that, I am sure. What a great read, someone says. Thanks so much for a book full of great ideas. I love the Q&A format. It's very satisfying to have good answers to clearly stated questions. Oh, that's one of the great things. Actually, one of the great things about our group, the CNPS, and all the scientists in it, and all of us, we actually have some pretty decent answers to questions that people don't get decent answers at all from the mainstream. They're so unsatisfying, they're contradictory, or they make you feel like you're an idiot because they're going to say you're just too stupid. Go to become indoctrinated and repeat after us. Parrot it. So truly brilliant. That's Jesse Whitwer. Truly brilliant. I'm sure it is. Down further here, we have a radical, darling, and innovative demolition of regressive physics, from the creation of something out of nothing to the God particle. William Westmiller. I hope Dr. Unsicker, you should read this. I'm not sure if you know Glenn Borchardt's work. Anyways, Glenn Borchardt uses the hammer of infinity to explain and destroy the junk theories that plague official physics today. This is a book that should be used in college courses to give students a basic understanding of how physics is done. Physics has gone off the rails for a century, and it is books like Borchardt's that will return physics from its current unscientific anti-materialist base and back onto a scientific and materialist road. Mike Gimbel. Another one, what a fascinating ring, Juan Cassiano, in Progressive Science Institute. If you don't know that's Glenn's blog and his institute, I guess. But I'm not going to go into this very much. I'll put links down to Glenn's work, but I will tell you, read Glenn's work. He is phenomenal. Again, if you're a person who believes in a finite universe, that's fine. It's critical thinking, folks. Got to keep your mind open. But I certainly will be waiting to read this. I'm really interested in some of the things that I know he's writing that he hasn't written before. I'm sure some of it will be rehashing some of his principles, his 10 assumptions of science. I'm sure he'll talk about all those kinds of things, building upon what he's done before. And so, but I will tell you, I recommend this book highly. I think it could be one of the great tomes of our time in science. So please, don't take my word or anybody else's on faith. Stay critical, stay thinking. I'm David Hilster. I'm your science therapist, pointing you to the right directions. And right over here, there it is, The Infinite Universe Theory by Dr. Glenn Borchardt. Ciao for now.